good evening, everyone. I think somebody's
feedback.
Yeah, so we can have your YouTube switched off.
Somebody's feedback.
Good evening, everyone.
Right.
Welcome to GG Delhi NCR session once again. We are here, four of us, almost every weekend, or if not every weekend, then twice a month at least, bringing you something interesting, something new. Hopefully, you've been learning along with us as we have learned with you in these years and these weeks of bringing you some special sessions. And today is yet another special session. And as you can see, all four of us are shining bright right now because we are very happy, we are very thrilled to bring you another session with none other than Alice Keeler. We are going to bring her up on the stage in a moment. But before that, as you can see, the title of today's session is Making Google Slides Truly Interactive. And four of us are fans of using Google Slides. And of course, before anything else, I'm Sangeeta Gulati. If you have not met me earlier, then I'm the GG leader of Delhi NCR. And with me, I have the superb team of GG Delhi NCR. So, quick round of introduction, and then we will take a quick look at how we use Google Slides other than a presentation app in our classroom. Starting with Sanchita there.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Sanchita, and I'm the co-lead and share captain of GG Delhi, GG Delhi NCR. I'm tripping over my own tongue today. I'm so excited, as you can see, Sangeeta ma'am, to be meeting Alice yet again. And today, Alice is going to be talking about my favorite tool from Google Workspace for education, that is Google Slides. I think there are so many things one can do with that. And my favorite way of using this is as as a hyper slides. I kind of like to package part of my lesson in the slides where students can go at their own pace along with the lesson as I work with the other students. Generally, we take this beyond the textbook, something that the students will not be reading in the text. It involves some material that I share with them, somewhere where the students will do their own research and share their findings with the rest of us. So that's my top use of Google Slides, apart from it being a presentation tool, a great one at that. Over to you,
Great,
Rupali.
wonderful.
Hello, viewers. I'm Rupali Arora, and I'm Learn Captain GG Delhi NCR, and really proud to be this amazing team because we have the privilege actually to watch and share space with amazing people out of the world, and one of them is Alice. And today it's going to be really amazing experience, and I'm super excited because I myself, I've used Google Slides in various ways, and one of the favorite ways that I actually go for it is playing games using Google Slides. So I have created a lot of innovative games in my classes while teaching economics to my grade 11 and 12 students. And I must say that Google Slides has actually given up that kind of, fun memories of my classroom using that entirely amazing app. And I'm really looking forward to see how Alice is going to use Google Slides and make it even more innovative. So today's session is amazing. I'm telling all the viewers because stay tuned till the end because this session is going to be really amazing. Over to you, Vibha.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, I'm Vibha. I am a middle school math teacher, and I have used slides as a collaborative project. I mean, to conduct some collaborative projects where you maybe make groups of five or six kids, and you ask them, okay, these 2 or 3 slides you're supposed to complete, and you are supposed to complete, and things like that. So it has worked really well, and especially during the pandemic. And in fact, the two pandemic years, in the present summer vacation also, we have gotten requests of children saying that, okay, let's just do it on slides, we don't want to write on a piece of paper. So yeah, I mean, that's one amazing way in which I have used slides with my students. And I really want to point out another way in which I personally have used it, and maybe somebody else can pick it up from here. I was never a person who used to write personal diaries. I have started doing that on slides. I pick up a slide and I write small things, and I'll, maybe decorate a slide and put all kinds of stickers and everything on it. And it has kind of helped you when, when you say you're taking care of your mental health. So yeah, that has also helped me. And maybe the language
Great.
teachers who are trying to uh, uh, inculcate the habit of writing and all those things, that's also pretty good way of decorating and writing your own personal diary. So yeah, that's one idea
Fantastic.
to give you all.
Sounds
So
fantastic. That definitely sounds fantastic. And I'm not going to take any more time because we really need to bring our special guest up on the screen. And so, welcome Alice to GG Delhi NCR. It's really,
Welcome.
as you can see, we are excited to have you here. And I want to take a moment just to again introduce you to all our viewers who may not have met you in our earlier session, which was on schoolitics, but this time Alice has come to us as an edtech expert, bringing all the years of experience working with Google Workspace for Education, working for creating content which can be used by educators in their classroom. She's also a maths teacher. So you can already see we have two maths teachers, I and Viva here, and I'm happy to have Viva and Alice here as another maths teacher. And maybe we as maths teachers can also get some ideas about how we can use Google Slides in an interactive fashion while teaching maths. But welcome, Alice, and it's really a pleasure to have you on stage with us. We four cannot tell you how excited we get when you say yes to our invite. And the second time around, it's been superb. So thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Sangeeta. I'm really excited. You guys are super fun. I would love to do this again, even.
Oh,
You've thrown me a curveball, though. You said that I'm going to talk about math. I wasn't planning on talking about math, but I
no problem.
absolutely use Google Slides when I teach math, and I'll mention that a little bit. I have some slides, so when you're ready to put those up, but you can see my background behind me. I stole this from Google several years ago. They tweeted this image out. Here I am.
Got it.
They tweeted this image out several years ago, and I'm like, is this really different? I mean, I don't know if you guys all remember, depends on how old you are, the overhead projector, and at the end of the day, your arms would be blue. I'd like to say you look like a Smurf, and you have these transparencies that you would write on. And one of the challenges to using the overhead projector is you're really stuck at the projector. You have to sit, you got to turn down the lights, and you're writing in here, and it's very teacher-centered. So is just putting it on Google Slides better? No, it's not. Using your Google Slides to present information the same way that you present using an overhead projector is not better. And so that's really my key thing that I try to discuss when we talk about EdTech. It's not about using technology, it's about innovating how you use technology. And that is what we are talking about today, is how we use Google Slides differently. So if you could bring up my slides.
Yes. And I think I'm going to leave the stage to you. We'll be there in on the behind the screen, and we'll be there in case there is any query coming up. But over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Sangeeta. I am putting the link here in the private chat. If you guys could copy it into the comments, that would be great. So the first way that you can make Google Slides interactive is just using the tools that are pre-built into Google Slides. So what you see here is it says slides.app.goo.gl/UP, the number 5, the letter K, and the letter J. Now, if you are watching this as a recording, this won't work for you at all, because after this presentation, that link will no longer work, because this is really about being interactive with the live audience that you have, which when you are teaching live in person, this tool is available to you all of the time. So if you would please, I would appreciate it if someone would ask a question or share something that I can demonstrate this functionality. So go to slides.app.goo.gl. And so what I'm able to see is when I have engaged this ask a question in Google Slides. Oh, thank you, Sangeeta, right? Hello. And you can do it anonymously, or you can put your name. So thank you, Sangeeta. Welcome. So I'm able to interact with and present comments from the audience. And what's great about this system is you don't necessarily have to know who they are. Now, what's great about teaching is, of course, I know who my students are. I know their email addresses, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But even with your students who you know, you can use this feature and they would just go to this link. So you can copy and paste that into the stream of Google Classroom or whatever other way that you share links with students. And then that will allow them to participate in your lesson. And so the first step to being more student-centered is to allow students to participate in your presentation. And this really is a low-hanging fruit that I think maybe a lot of us don't take advantage of. Right? Hi, Sanchita. I love giving students a shout out, like allowing them to participate in my slides, calling them by name, and really facilitating discussion around student comments. So you'll see what I'm able to do is I can see in advance what comments they are making, and I can choose to show and hide. This does not add a slide. It does not add a slide. It just adds to the presentation. So you have to be in presentation mode. It's something that you are displaying. So if students are looking at the slides on their own individual devices, they would not see this. This is strictly for kicking up a presentation. Will we add videos? I wasn't going to go over adding videos today, but of course you can add videos and audio to Google Slides. And I encourage you to use Screencastify or Mote to add those videos and voice comments. Mote makes it really extra easy to add audio into your Google Slides. All right. Hello, Vandana. Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I love all this interactivity, you guys. Thank you so much. And of course, with this particular tool, it allows the audience to vote on questions. So if this was just a way to have students ask questions, some students would rather die than raise their hand. It's embarrassing. They feel like they might be the only one who has the question. So this just gives them a back channel way to ask, that they can have other students say, oh, me too. I also have that question. And then you can display it up. So I personally am feeling great. Although in a minute here, I'm going to be presenting like this because it is 7 o'clock in the morning in Kansas and the sun is coming right up into my window. And I know it's going to be a great day. So to facilitate creating something like this in your Google Slides, I'm just going to go ahead and do a slides.new. I love slides.new. Slides.new, keep.new, sheets.new, docs.new. I'm all about the .new. I love to do that very quickly. So you'll see up here in the upper corner, it says slideshow, and you click on that tiny triangle and it gives you the option for presenter view. So you don't want to actually click on the whole button, although you can. And what I like about presenter view is you'll see that it's in the tab rather than going full screen. And that's really, really helpful because yes, it will be fun to teach math in an interactive way. Thank you. It is really helpful for it to be in the tab because then I can go to, for math, I can go to Desmos or other websites that I want to interact with students, go to Google Classroom, share links. I'm not locked into being in this presentation. So using presenter mode where it's in the tab rather than full screen is one of my superpowers. And you can't see it, but it pops up a small window. And one of the things it says on that small window is audience tools. So clicking on that audience tools and you start a new one, don't answer this one. This is on the new slides. So when you start a new one, that's what allows, it automatically generates that link. Like I didn't have to do it. It automatically put it on there. So what I want you to see is that I created a brand new Google Slides and in seconds, I'm able to generate a link that allows for interactivity right in my presentation. All right, I'm gonna escape out of that. Come on back here. So now I've not lost my presentation because it is in presenter view. My presentation is in a tab rather than being full screen. So I was able to go to this other tab, do something interactive with students. For my math people, Desmos is always a great way to be interactive. And while you can build in interactivity into Desmos, there's certainly good reasons that you want to have a Google Slides to go along with it. Okay, so these are my slides. I am going to go to the next one. Try to get away from Google Slides being set and get. That is what we're doing today, right now. This very moment, I am saying something to you and you are listening to me, and I'm looking for ways that I get more interactivity, which means students are interacting with the slides, because active student engagement is better for learning. Some research out of Harvard has shown this, that while people think they learn more when they take notes, they actually learn more when they're doing something. So taking notes is not active student engagement. So how do we get students to really be thinking and processing and interacting and engaging during a presentation? So one of my favorite things, I feel like it just answers all of life's problems, is collaborative Google Slides. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the ability to submit to the slides, because what I'd really like to do is actually share these slides with you. So collaborative Google Slides is where I create a Google Slides that would allow the students to edit my slides. So how do you make slides interactive? You're going to add a slide and put your name in the speaker notes. So that's my question. How do you make slides interactive? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push escape so I'm not in presentation mode. I'm going to copy the link to this slide and I'm going to paste it right here. So if you guys could copy and paste that into the comments. Now what I need to do is I need to make sure I click on the share button. And right now it says anyone with the link can view. I have to change that. I have to instead say anyone with the link, and probably you want to do anyone at your class. Instead of being a viewer, I need to make you an editor. So yeah, thanks. So make sure that it's anyone can edit. Anyone can edit. So if you would join in for the anonymous Abex who's already in there, you will need to refresh since I've just changed the settings to be anyone can edit. Now you'll come down here to slide 6, and if you push enter, it'll add a new slide. So just click on slide 6 and push enter to add a new slide. And the prompt is, how do you make slides interactive? So this is one of my favorite things to do, is I create a question in Google Slides and I ask the students to please add a slide and respond. You're going to put your name in the speaker notes. So I'm going to click on slide 6. I'm going to press enter. And down here at the bottom, and I'm going to make my font a lot larger just so you can see it, I'm going to put my name. Now the reason that I do this is because I want to be able to see student responses, but I want it to be anonymous at some level. You can have them put their name on the slide, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute if that is something that you would like to do. So if you would create some sort of a headline, how do you make slides interactive? Collaborative Google Slides, and I give students edit access to my slides presentation and ask them to add a slide and put their name in the speaker notes. Yep, that sun is coming right up into my face, right at the right times. Fun times presenting at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I've got my coffee and I'm in a good mood. So if you would get your own slide, this is definitely something to practice. You are not born with the skill to know how to collaborate on Google Slides. It's just like we don't know how to walk to the library quietly in a straight line. We have to teach and practice that with kids. In the same way, we have to teach and practice being together in a collaborative document. Being together in a collaborative document is absolutely a life skill, and we have to tolerate maybe a little bit of shenanigans of kids deleting each other's work. And here's the trick, don't get upset. If you get upset, then the kids think it's funny and they'll keep doing it. All right, so we want to teach students to add their own slide, but the trick is to do it often. If you're going to do collaborative slides, do collaborative slides like every day. Someone's editing my slide, please get your own slide. If you're looking at a slide that has words on it already, that's not your slide. Please add a new slide. Click on slide 6. Click on slide 6 on this it's called the film strip. Gotta get your own one, Poonam. Okay, get your own slide, please. And that is okay. We expect that. Thank you for modeling that for me. I appreciate it. Is that it is something that we practice and we learn, oh, I'm supposed to use a slide. I'm going to add one in. What you'll notice is that when you press enter, you go to slide 6 and you press enter, it creates a blank slide of that style. So if I were to come up to slide 4 and push enter, it actually adds a blank slide because that's the layout that I have. So the trick here is that I will always add the student slide so that they can just push enter to add the student slides. What I've done is I've modified the theme builder. When I go to the view menu and I choose theme builder, it's gonna, you see how I have that as my student layout? Here's the other thing you'll notice. I always make the first layout the student layout. The layout that I want students to interact with, that is the one that I will design for the very first layout. So you see the second layout is blank white. My first layout is designed for students. Okay. I'm going to come on back here. Now, I've asked each of you to add a slide, to put your name in the speaker notes, for you to tell me how do you make slides interactive. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up into the version history. So I'm going to go to the file menu. I'm going to go to version history. I'm going to name the current version. And this current version is before the shuffle. Before shuffle. What do you mean before the shuffle? Well, since I've asked all of you to add a slide, what order do I go in to interact with students? And I like to do it randomly. So I'm going to come up here to the add-ons menu, and we're going to see randomize slides by 8. I coded this. So I'm going to randomize the slides, and first slide first randomizes all the slides except the first slide. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle those. So you'll see that the first slide is still first, but now I have these student slides mixed in. And I'm going to come back to this tiny triangle. I'm going to go to presenter view again. And I can now go through. Now this one is mine. Oh no, this one's not mine. Collaborative work. I use Mote to add in instructions and let students do the work. Yes, Mote voice comments add so many layers of engagement beyond just static words on the page. Mote, super. We don't have anything on that one. Hey, is it Suda or Nitty? Thanks for adding a slide on there. Appreciate it. Ooh, Instagram on Google Slides. I have a great lesson plan where I want students to use learn vocabulary for Latin roots, but instead of just telling them the vocabulary, I want students to use context clues. That is higher critical thinking. So I go and I take some pictures off of Instagram, and I get the descriptions off of Instagram to have them try to figure out what's the context of this vocabulary word based on the Instagram image. Instagram's a great way to engage with students. What a fun idea. Thank you. That's one of my slides. I give student, that's me. Yep, that one's me. Collaborative Google Slides, it makes learning fun and engaging. Active student engagement is definitely more engaging than sit and get. Yes, thank you. All right, Mote. I am a Mote ambassador. I am a lover of Mote. I'm not using my Mote coffee mug this morning, but I do have one. And I enjoy using it. So verbal instructions, that is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and push escape. And so I'm able to then shuffle through student responses, but I'm going to go back to the version history. I'm going to go to the file menu. I'm going to choose version history, and I'm going to see version history. So I click on see version history, and I'm going to click on before the shuffle. So notice before I changed the settings to Can Edit, before I gave students edit access, I named my version. So this way I can restore it back the way it was. So look at that. I shuffled my slides, which was great, but now I put it back so my stuff is in order. Now I have another trick for you. My next trick is I'm going to add a slide. Now to add a slide, you have this plus icon up here in the toolbar, and you'll notice this tiny triangle. And I'm going to click on the tiny triangle. Do you see it? I've actually added my remaining slides to the theme because I wanted to have this interactive piece. I knew I was going to give you edit access to my slides, but I don't want to reveal all of my slides before you interact with them. So what I did is I went to the view menu and I went to theme builder, and in theme builder, I added my slides that I plan on presenting. Now here's my trick. Can you see this up here? It says that the name of the slide is 06 and the name of this slide is 07 and the name, oh, I guess I don't have it. There's, yeah, 08, 09, 10. And I do 2 digits, so I will do 01, 02 because of how numbers alphabetize. And so I do want to number them that way so that when I want to add my slides over here, I click on the tiny triangle. Do you see how it says 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? When I name the layout, a number, then I can tell which order I want to add them into. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was use version history. Collaboration is risk-free. I gave you edit access to my slides. Deep breaths, deep breaths. No, not deep breaths. It's fine. It's fine because I have version history. So before I share my slides, I'm going to go to the file menu and I'm going to go to version history. I'm going to name the current version and I name it template. So this is what it looks like before students interact with my slides. And that way I can just at the end of class, put it right back to my template. Or say some student put something inappropriate on a slide. No problem. I just put it back to template. I'm able to fix that easily. Okay, so make sure you take advantage of version history. I like to frequently name the current version. So when I post a question, I'm going to want to version history it before I ask the question, because if there's any shenanigans during the response where students are adding slides, I can fix it. I want to name a current version after they respond. I can shuffle my slides and then put it back if I want to. So I'm a version history. I name the current version multiple times while I'm interacting with students. Okay, I'm going to add the next slide. That was number 6. So now I'm going to add number 7. And all you have to do is give students edit access. That's the trick. Just give them edit access. Nope, no deep breathing because we did version history. So I would encourage you, whatever your slides presentation is, 2 ways to just quick and easy get students interacting with your slides is give them edit access and to use presenter view and enable the audience tools. And so when I enable the audience tools, there they are, right? So if you have a question or a comment, I would love for you to go ahead and add it into the slides.app.goo.gl/UP5KJ. Thank you, Vibha. So I'm gonna pause and wait for someone to give me a comment here. Any questions, thoughts? The sun is right here, friends. It is right here. Anonymous is saying hello. All right, no questions? Okay, and you're going to see that a lot too, is that students are shy to want to participate and have their slide put up there. And so you have to develop and work on that culture You have to work on that culture of creating a safe space and environment with students. Jo Boaler, who's like my favorite person ever, she wrote the best book ever, Mathematical Mindsets. And it's not a book about math, it's a book about teaching. And she talks about creating a classroom where students want to share their mistakes, that we value and appreciate thinking over just finding the answers. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this because I'm ready to add my next slide. So to add my next slide, I'm coming up to the layout, and I have a slide number 8 to create Draggables. So Draggables, I see that the link was put into the chat. If you put the HTTP in front of the slides.app.goo.gl, it will make it a live link, I believe, maybe not. On the presenter view, and turn on my audience tools. Okay. Oh, here we go. I got one. Sanchita, yes, I'm so glad that you got something out of this. I always am afraid that I've got some great, amazing, innovative educators that I'm just sharing things that they already know. So thank you for that feedback. Version history can be your best friend. And thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate your feedback on that. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and duplicate the tab. I'm going to duplicate the tab because I can be in the slides, being interactive with the slides, on the slides in edit mode, and on another tab, I can be in presentation mode. So I can actually do both at the same time. I love Google Slides. Duplicate the tab. Right-click on the tab so you can be in multiple places at the same time. And I apologize. The sun is just moving right up into my window. All right, so we're going to create some Draggables. So when, I think I spelled that wrong. But when students join the slides, they have something that they can interact with. And better yet, I would prefer that they are collaborating and doing it as a group, and they're thinking and organizing the Draggables on the slide. So I have a couple ways that we can do this. I'm going to go ahead and put my next link up here. My sample is alicekeeler.com/FarkleSlides. alicekeeler.com/FarkleSlides. So if you would go ahead and go there, you can open up my template that I'd like to share with you. Is one way that I create Google Slides interactive activities. I forgot who mentioned it. They said that they used Google Slides for making games. And so here is one of my Google Slides games. So I'm going to go to alicekeeler.com/FarkleSlides. If someone could go ahead and put that into the comments, that would be great. Please put the HTTP in front of it if possible. It's going to prompt you to make a copy. So if you've never played Farkle, what a fun thing to do this summer. There are lots of apps that you can install on your phone to play Farkle. You just type in Farkle, F-A-R-K-L-E, into the App Store, and you'll be able to find a lot of Farkle games. Install one, and if you don't like that one, install a different one. No, what's better than doing it in person with actual dice? And so that's really fun as well, but we can't always be in person. And so using my alicekeeler.com/FarkleSlides allows you to collaboratively play Farkle with someone, because you can be on the same Google Slides even if they are in India. Okay, so what you'll see here is that I have at the top of the slide is I have these dice, and they are draggable down onto the slide. But what I've done is I've created these elements off the slide. I call it off canvas. So when I use Google Slides as a game or a collaborative workspace, I can have on canvas and off canvas. So on the slide is where the action is. Off the slide is where I have resources and elements that they can use. Now I've actually coded this. I'm going to come on down here. You'll see here where it says dice. I have a dice menu. Now I made this many years ago, so you can use this here, but I also have, I haven't installed it. Huh, that's embarrassing. I have an add-on. I'm going to go to alicekeeler.com/coded by Alice. And I have Dice Slides by Alice Keeler. So I'm going to install that. I have a lot of Google accounts, friends, like a lot of them. Allow. Done. Okay. And I got a text from my phone letting me know that I've installed something on my Google account. And so I'm going to refresh. So what's nice is if you install Dice Slides, I coded this, then you can make any Google Slides into a game. So that is a fun and easy way to make Google Slides interactive. So on any Google Slides, you can go to the add-ons menu, you can go to Dice Slides by Alice Keeler, and I'm going to go ahead and show the sidebar. And that places the ability to roll dice. So I can just roll 4 dice. I rolled a 3, 4, 5, and 3, and it just shows as this pop-up window. Or I can place dice. So you're going to see it put 4 dice up here in the corner. So if you have any ideas for creating your own game, you can have Dice Slides installed and make any Google Slides into something that's interactive. Okay, but I'm going to use this one. I'm going to have to authorize the add-on. Just give me a quick second. I'm going to authorize it. It's giving me a scary warning that says back to safety. Google hasn't verified this app. That's right. Because you made a copy of it, you are the owner. You'll notice it says your email address when you say show advanced. And even though it says unsafe, it is totally safe. So go ahead and authorize the add-on. So in Farkle, what you're going to do is you roll 6 dice. I'm going to go ahead and roll 6 dice. It's a 5, 2, 6, 1, 3, and 5. And my code goes ahead and places that dice roll right on the slide. So then I'm going to drag down a 5, a 2, a 6, a 1, a 3, and a 5. Now, what I love about having my students play Farkle, this is what we do the first week of school, is I have them play Farkle, is because I want to demonstrate to them that what I want in the math classroom is for them to have strategic conversations. What's your strategy? That is like my favorite all-time sentence. What is your strategy? Apologies. And so I have a 1 and 2 5s. Now in Farkle, a 5 is worth 50 points and a 1 is worth 100 points. And this is my junk. Like these are not worth any points. And you have to have at least 300 points to quit. So right now I have 200 points. I have 200 points. I must keep rolling. And so my strategy is throw back the 5 so I can get 3 of a kind. So I only have to hold 1 dice. You have to hold at least 1. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these. So I'm only have 100 points instead of 200. And now I'm going to roll 5 dice. So I have 5 dice to roll. So that's a 6. Come on. Keeps opening up the dictionary on me. 6. Got a new mouse. I gotta get used to it. A 6, a 3, 4. Whoo! That was close because you have to roll a 1 or a 5 or you get Farkle and you have 0 points. Okay, these aren't worth anything, so I really don't have a choice. So there's not really any strategy in that. I'm not going to keep playing, but what I want you to see is that I create a text box template for students because I don't want them to just drag things. I want them to explain their thinking. Dragging things is low critical thinking. Strategizing is DOK2 and maybe even DOK3. So I always like to add this box, explain your thinking, what's your rationale. You should have to add more to it than just dragging and moving elements around. So that is one of the ways that I make it interactive. And of course, because it's Google Slides, it's automatically the ability to be collaborative by simply sharing it with 2 students at the same time on the same Google Slides. So I'm going to come back to my tab that is in presenter view, and I'm going to see if any of you have added any more questions on here. Nidhi, thank you. Exploring Google Slides or such the intent for the first time. Thank you so much. Am I out of time, Sangeeta?
No, I just came back because Farkle game seems to be something that we are not familiar with. Maybe we have something, similar to this kind of a game in our culture. So, can
Sure.
you just talk about what exactly are the principles that one need to keep in mind for a game like this?
Sure.
So, I
And Farkle is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it's Farkle or any other thing. I wanted to demonstrate that I've
just the
created
dice,
a
how to,
template, right? I've
yeah.
created a template that is a game. Doesn't matter what the game is. That I have game elements that can be dragged, and more importantly, that I have added a text box to allow them to write and explain, so that I add some more
Hmm.
educational elements into my game. So what I'm hoping for you to get out of the Farkle game is not how to play Farkle. I like to play Farkle. I think a lot of Americans don't know what it is either. It is a game that some people play. You might play Yahtzee, you might
Okay.
play Jeopardy. But what I'd like you to get out of this is a couple of things that if you install dice slides, you
Hmm.
can make any of your slides into a game, no matter the game, so long as it uses dice. So any dice game can be put into here. So for example, I
Yeah.
have AliceKeeler.com/shut the box. In
Hmm.
addition to the sun blaring in my face, it's also very hot.
I know.
So I'm going to go
Thank you
ahead
for
and make
keeping
it
up with this.
see.
Yeah.
So AliceKeeler.com/shut the box. I'm going to put that in the private chat if you would like to copy it over.
So that's what I think Rupali was talking about earlier, the kind of games she uses in her classroom. So we do have a Slides Mania template where we would have a dice roll being simulated by a video. But if you use something like this as an add-on, I think those games can be enhanced and they would become much more easy to conduct in our classrooms. So definitely, this is something for all of us to try. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And now this does have code in it, the shut the box. So I am going to need to authorize this. It is running slowly right now. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to authorize it. And again, you've made a copy, so you are the owner. You are authorizing yourself access to your own files. And I can use this shut the box menu, and it's only there because you made a copy of my template. And you can see that it allows me to roll larger dice onto the, I'm going to need to add new round. The way shut the box works is you're trying to roll dice to sum up to these numbers, that they add up to these numbers. So this is a great math game to play with students. I even like to play with my high school math students. So when I roll 2, I rolled a 5 and a 4, it has to add up to 9. So I can just delete the 9. So you see, I'm using this slides template not to build presentation slides, but to really to interact with it, that I'm intending to delete and add to the slide. I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 more. 3 and 4 gives me a total of 7. So I'm going to delete the 4, the 2, and the 1, because the goal is to get rid of all of these tiles. So again, this point of this presentation is not how to play shut the box, and it is not how to play Farkle, but how I can hack Google Slides to include dice. And those are a couple of templates that are right in there. And it is the dice slides. You can just install it. That makes it for any Google Slides, not just my templates that I have created. Okay.
Great. Carry on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So back to making my slides interactive. I have my next slide is Hyperlink Choice Board. So this is something that I have coded. If you would add hyperlinks into your slides, it allows students to jump around to what their choices are. The problem with hyperlinking, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that here. I'm going to create some extra slides. So to create a hyperlink with a K, so Control K will hyperlink. So I'm going to click on this text box and Control K. Now I'm on a Mac, so it's Command K. Control K. and you see this little pop-up comes up, and I can link to the next slide, or here in slide 1 where it says, hi, I want the slides in this presentation. So I'm going to click on that down at the bottom. And I'm like, oh, I want this to go to slide 5. It's not hard. You do Control K. Control K. Actually, I need to make sure I've highlighted that. Control K. And I need to come down. Now, here's the problem. Did you see that? What happened to the slides in this presentation? Control K. I can do next slide. I can do slide 1. And it's trying to link me to things in my Google Drive. I want to link to slide 6. And the problem is that this text box is so low. Now, here's my hack. I do Control minus, Control minus, Control minus, Control minus. Aha! If you zoom out enough times, you can see where it says slides in this presentation. And then I can link it to slide 6. Now, the problem with this is that I have to zoom out, that I have to know which one I'm linking it to, and I have to not make a mistake. And it's so easy to accidentally link to the wrong slide, and it's also so easy to accidentally forget to link. So I like to do this automatically. So I'd like to share with you. I'm going to go ahead and add another slide here. Nope, not that one. Sorry. On this one. If you go to alicekeeler.com/coded-by-Alice, please. alicekeeler.com/coded-by-Alice. I'm going to put that in the chat here. I'm going to get a window shade. It's usually not a problem. I teach in the morning, so by the time I come in to use my computer, the sun has passed over my window and it's no problem. But this morning, there we go. Thank you. So these are all of my add-ons that I have created. I currently have 16, and you can bet that I will soon have many more. And I would love it and appreciate it so very much if you would install all of my add-ons. And if you would please, I beg, please go to reviews and click on, you would rate it and maybe give me a kind note. As you can see, I only have 5 ratings on this particular add-on, and it would really help me to get a lot of ratings on all of them. I have 16, so if anyone's feeling bored today and would do me a favor and go through and install all 16 and give me a 5-star review, I would be very, very grateful. Or even just on one, I will take any of them. And the one that I'm focusing on today is Hyperlink Slides Choice Board. So you're going to see this down here at the bottom, Hyperlink Slides Choice Board. Here in the chat. So if you would go ahead and install that, I know that you are going to love using Hyperlink Slides Choice Board. I'm going to create a brand new slide. So I'm going to do slides.new. What I want to do is I want to design this first slide to be the choices that I would want my students to do. So I want them to describe their strategy. How might they do that? So I'm going to delete those text boxes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to create, you can use a text box, or you can use a shape, or you can use a picture. How do you want students to link to what is their choice? So I'm going to create a shape. And I'm going to tie-dye. Have you ever done this? You go to the fill tool and you click on gradient. So I'm going to choose my gradient is yellow. And I go back to the fill tool and I click on custom. Now, if you click on custom, it allows you to customize the gradient, and I'm going to make it tie-dyed. Why? Why not? So I'm going to make that orange. I'm going to add into this one white. There we go. Oh, look how fun my button became. So to tie-dye your background slides on your fill, you're going to want to customize your gradient. So that's a fun little bonus tip. Now you can actually just go ahead and double click on the shape and start typing. So I want them to use Desmos as maybe a choice. I'm going to make this font bigger. I like this font, and I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to use Control D to duplicate it so that they match. So they might use Desmos, You might explain it in Moat. You might use, I love Flipgrid, right? So what are the different choices that they have? Maybe they're going to use Google Slides to explain whatever it is that they learned. And then one of my favorites is I love it when students use Minecraft. You can make as few or as many as you want. And you can do it again with just regular text box. So I'm going to go ahead and add a text box. You can also do it with a picture. So I'm going to search the web for a cat. Look at that cat. He's so cute. Okay, so what you want to do is on the very first slide, you want to add text boxes or shapes or pictures, whatever you want that conveys to the student what choices they have. So I'm going to create a choice board. And then you just come up to the add-ons menu, and you're going to find Hyperlink Slides Choice Board. Hyperlink Slides Choice Board. I'm going to show the sidebar. And you have two options. You can put the text on the slide or just create the slides. I'm going to choose Create Slides, Text on Slide. I'm going to do this blue button. And do you see how it just created these slides? I didn't make those slides. Look how much faster this was. It's like, boom, made the slides for me. But each of these slides are automatically hyperlinked back to the table of contents. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into presenter view. And when I click on, it says Moat, you see I'm on the Moat slide. Now on the bottom right, there is a home icon. You're going to click on that, it takes you back to the first slide. If I click on the cat, it doesn't say cat on there because you had to have some words for it to read, but that's the cat slide. And then home takes them back. When we click on your choice, you see it says your choice. Home takes them back. And Google Slides and home takes them back. So what I would want to do, escape, is figure out what choices I want, and I design and create that on that first slide. And then I'm going to use the Hyperlink Slides Choice Board to automatically generate the slides for me. Now, it does link to that exact slide, so you can actually shuffle and mix up the slide order. It's no problem if you would like to do that. And then you want to give your directions. So on each of the slides for the choice, give them the directions for the choice. You might add a Moat or a Screencastify to give them some directions for how to do that particular choice. All right, that is my presentation that I have for you today. I'm going to do one last where I add in my last slide. And over here in presenter view, I'm going to unhide that. Thank you, Rupali. I appreciate the feedback. And if anybody else has any feedback, please feel free to use the slides.app.goo.gl/up5kj. Thanks, Rupali, again. And I'm going to turn that off and refresh. Because I need to be on the very last slide. Okay, friends. My website is alicekeeler.com, and I would love for you to visit and get many of the free resources that I share on there. And if you would like additional support, I do have a premium membership that includes premium resources at alicekeeler.com/membership. So thank you for having me today. Sangeeta, you're muted.
Sangeeta ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, got it. That has to happen with Alice around, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so definitely interesting and so many great ideas, things that we often, we are aware of version history, definitely, but never thought of it, using it like that when we are using it in an interactive, collaborative manner with our students, or even with, training our teachers, this can be used so very well. Fantastic, great ideas coming up. And I have been looking at all the add-ons that you have used and shared. That is amazing. You know how simple the job becomes when you have an add-on which just created the slides along with all the choice board options that you had put in. So
I appreciate
yes, thank you so very much. What about you, Rupali? And because I know Rupali loves using slides in an interactive
Yeah,
manner.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
this was for me was an amazing session. Thank you so much, Alice. I mean, each and every idea I'm going to use, each and every add-on I'm going to install, and I've started giving reviews as well. I'm super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the dice, and I was thinking of Rupali, and I know in the next class, I think we're closed for summer break currently. But Rupali is already working on the next set of activities she's planning for her students when we reopen in July. So yeah, and definitely super useful, super exciting to again connect with Alice, and these looking at these hidden things that go on in Google Slides that are already there, which we often overlook. For example, the Q&A feature is very, very valuable. I often forget to use it, but yeah, that's something that can be leveraged even more to make Google Slides more interactive.
true. And
Absolutely.
again, giving, providing a back channel, even if, right now, of course, thankfully we are back in school, but think of if we have to again teach virtually, I think that is something which was underutilized. So if in all, you're teaching and you give students a chance to ask questions, while the lesson is on, I think Q&A feature as showcased by Alice will work wonders. Um, right? I mean, that is something which we didn't explore much. So definitely that's something to always keep in mind. Yeah. What about you, Vibha? What's exciting
I
you?
amazing ideas, and I also want to mention one thing and thank Alice for this. It's been so uncomfortable for her, the sun coming
Yes.
straight into her eyes. So thank you for bearing that. I can imagine it must be so difficult. So thank you for that, and
Yeah.
bearing this for all our audience. So great.
Yes. I was wondering, how you're able to read uh, in between, or, keeping in with the sun now, and with, I guess you have multiple screens as well open in front of you, and therefore to keep a track of everything there.
I'm
So yes.
ducking. You see this line? That's the top of my computer. So I'm ducking below
Okay.
my
You're
computer.
looking below that. That's wonderful. So thank you so much for doing that for us, because I know it's early morning for you, and of course it's just the beginning of the weekend for you. But to do this for us, it's really means a lot to us. And
Thank you.
I do hope that all the educators who have joined us today, as because they might be familiar with Google Slides, but as the showcase by you has brought out so many things that can be done without too much of effort, but having just the know of it, and also to of course have access to these add-ons would definitely make it easier. So we do have one or our member here, Poonam, saying, I never thought that we can use slides this way. So yeah, thank you, Poonam, for saying that, because that definitely is how we are feeling right now, that why didn't we use it this way. So yes, I hope others who will watch the recording later will also have plenty to take back from this session. So do reach out to Alice, do let her know how or what you have learned, how you are going to use it in your classroom.
I'd
And
love
yes, go back to the place where all the add-ons are. So that was Alice, Keeler. I have a link saved here, but if you can quickly
Coded by
again,
Alice, alicekeeler.com
Coded by
/coded.
Alice.
Also, if
coded by
you just search
Alice. Yeah.
Alice Keeler in the marketplace, that's what that goes to.
Yeah. So just go to Chrome Web Store and the marketplace of that for extensions and add-ons, and then look for Alice. So that is where I guess you can get all these hacks, which definitely will save a lot of time. And again, I think coming from an educator, a teacher who's very much in the classroom, you're thinking of ways which would help a teacher. So that is what I find is always different in the ways that you use these add-ons and you code them so that we can use them as well. So thank you so much for coming to our show, for bringing in so many ideas and enriching us. And we do hope
Yeah,
that
and
we will have you once again.
Yes,
So
I'd love
I'm
to.
going
absolutely.
to take one
And
quick.
for the audience, I can see a lot of wonderful comments coming up on the chat. We would love it if you could talk about your takeaways, your favorite takeaway from this session on social media, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram. And don't forget to tag Alice Keeler and GEG Delhi NCR on whatever social media you're using. We're present on Facebook, we're there on Twitter as well as Instagram. And we'd love to see what you've really gained out of today's session. Maybe we've missed something and we might pick up something from your tweet or from a story that you put up on Instagram.
Yes. So yes, absolutely the best way, because this is how we have reached out to Alice to come on our show. So Twitter was my way to go forward and to interact. So yes, stay connected with Alice through Twitter. Do reach out. I've just put her handle in the chat again. So mark that out for yourself, and I'm sure Alice will help us out as and when needed in case there are suggestions or any concerns or queries. I'm sure all will be taken in good spirit. And Alice, I think you said you're happy to come back again. So I'm
Yes,
going to
I'd
look for
love to.
you to come back again as the queen of the Google Sheets. So next time
Greedy.
we'll try to get your expertise on Sheets with us, because I
Ooh.
know there is so much that you are bringing to the room, and we do want to cash on to that. So
Well, let's
I
do it before
don't
I go
want
back to
to.
school because I would have to be at school right now normally.
Right, right, right. We'll plan it out. We'll plan it out
Yeah,
whatever
we
way.
can
Oh, it's
rework the
Saturday.
timing.
Never mind.
Timing
I
is
can always
something
do it
that's
on Saturday.
flexible.
Forget it. Anytime is good.
Right. Thank you so much. And yes, for all our audience, do go back to this recording again. Try out those add-ons. Try to see how you would use these ideas in your classroom. And stay in touch with us. And we would love to bring back some more special sessions for you from experts like Alice and more. So thank you for joining us today. And bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.